Well, I am going to say I take it all back. I take back the notion that there was some resemblance of decency left over for what's going on with this Harry and Meghan saga. Because what we're about to watch, guys, I think that we and everybody who can, you should all be contacting the government, your government, the UK government, and the US government, because this is absolutely insane. I mean, as insane as it gets, guys, without being. We've been talking about Harry's visa. The Heritage Foundation has been talking about it, that they want to know what's going on. And it seems that there's a lot going on, very much going on. And let's see what happens, because let's get into this, because what I'm about to show you, I don't even know. I mean, why? Why is this even happening? Beautiful people, this is a very important thing for you to know, that to qualify for an A1 or A2 visa, you must, that is a must, this is a non-negotiable clause, be traveling to the United States on behalf of your national government to engage solely in official activities for that government. The specific duties or services that will be performed must be governmental in character or nature. I repeat that to qualify for an A1 or A2 visa, you must be traveling to the United States on behalf of your national government and to engage solely in official activities. That means no commercial activities. Hello, beautiful people. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for coming here. My name is Paula M. So let's get into this video, because there's so much to unpack here, guys. And you guys were right. You should be angry. I am angry. I am upset. I mean, how can two idiots like Harry and Meghan Markle, an idiot? I am absolutely convinced that Harry is an evil Forrest Gump in regards to his IQ and well-meaning or intentions, because Forrest Gump is actually quite a lovely guy, unlike Harry. Do you know the worst part of it? There's nothing worse than an entitled rich person playing victim in a drama they created of their own creation. So Meghan and Harry have created this drama in their heads, so they can become victims, so they can claim to be victims. That is called gaslighting 101. That is called gaslighting 101. They've created all this mess and lies and everything, and they're the victims of their own in their own lies. Meghan claiming that there was some racism. Who? She's a white chick. I mean, you know the movie White Chicks. I can remember which one it was. By the way, many of you have asked me about my rice water recipe. Please, I am linking them both videos here. One here and then another one here. The first, how to do it, and the second, how to wash it. I mean, everything, okay? So you can go Google it there, because you guys have been asking me for it. So please, but you can test and try, because of course, you know, it's just, I wanted to say it before I forget. So yeah, so Harry and Meghan Markle make up these lies to be able to play victim in that lying scenario. That's gaslighting. It's like when you go to the police and you say, this is literally what we're living right now with Harry and Meghan. It's like when you go to the police, or like Oprah. Like Oprah. Do you remember, guys, I told you about Oprah, that when she was like 11 or 12 years of age, because she was going to this posh white school, very wealthy, she managed to get a scholarship there, and she'd go to their houses. She didn't like her humble home. So what did she do? She staged a break-in to destroy her mother's furniture. And the mother was a hardworking lady, but she destroyed it so the mother would buy new furniture. and then claim to be victim. This is like when you go to the police station and you say, you know, I've been robbed, and it wasn't true. You know, and you're playing victim, and then you get caught lying that you weren't robbed, but you're still, then instead of saying, yes, I wasn't robbed, I made it all up, then you blame the police and you say, well, no, you guys are being racist because you caught me lying about me not being robbed. Okay, so that's what we're going on with Harry and Meghan. So many of us have been wondering about the visa, and I've actually done videos about it, telling you what it requires to have an A1 visa, which is actually A1 or A2 visa, which is exactly the kind of visa that a head of state or diplomats or high-ranking diplomats or royalty and get. Now, it's important for you to know that these types of visas, even if you're the son of the head of state, you can't just go to the American embassy and say, give me an A1 visa. That's not the way it works. It has to be the government who goes to a government agency, in this case, Home Office in the United Kingdom or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who sends Harry's documents and Meghan's, listen to what I'm saying, and Meghan's, to the U.S. Embassy, and you request a visa, an A1 visa. Now, technically, Prince Charles is a head of state. He is a head of state. He's the monarch of the United Kingdom and some countries in the Commonwealth. And for example, he's our head of state in Canada. Okay, so as such. But Charles, again, as monarch, he doesn't need a visa because as king, as head of state, he doesn't have a passport because it's just the passports on his name. So like the queen, he travels without a passport. Okay. But let's say, but the rest of his family, for example, when William or even the Duchess of Edinburgh or any other royal member go abroad in representation of His Majesty the King, King Charles, they do get an A1 visa and they're treated like heads of state because they are representing the head of state of that nation. They're going on a government political representation. Okay? I just want to say that. Also, as family members of a head of state, you are entitled to an A1 visa when you travel abroad or when you go vacation, you know, like they take you. And there is something called diplomatic security service, which is something that I'm very, very familiar with because I used to take care of this for a lot of heads of states, royal family, and even diplomats. And also, when I was a diplomat, I had access to that kind of protection, which is called the Diplomatic Security Service. And I'm going to get into it a little bit now. But I'm just trying to tell you this so you know that as family member to a head of state, and when I say family member, I don't mean uncle, aunt, no. It's sons, husband, sons, and wife or husband if it's a female head of state. In this case, when the Queen was the head of state, it was Prince Philip who would get an A1 visa because, as again, only the monarch doesn't use a passport. So I just want us to frame this because as King Charles' son, Harry can get an A1 visa. But again, please understand that Harry himself cannot pitch up to the U.S. Embassy in London because this visa can only be taken out or requested in the country of origin. So this would be the United Kingdom. Harry can't go to Canada. For example, when Harry was in Canada prior to leaving to LA, he couldn't request the visa from Canada. He would have had to go back to the UK and request it have his government request it on his behalf. Or if he didn't go to the UK, then the government would request it on his behalf, but he would still need his passport. Unless they did something shady, which is what we're going to get into right now. Having said that, as the son of the head of state, Harry is entitled to not entitled, but he could possibly request an A1 visa. But again, those A1 visas, guys, they're not indefinite. They have to be they're mostly for vacations or if they go, if they're working for the government. Like as a diplomat or as a government representative. Remember when I told you that the list of diplomats, that I didn't understand why the Heritage Foundation simply didn't request the list of diplomats? Because also another thing that you all have to keep in mind is that the diplomats, they're government employees. They're literally government employees, guys. They just happen to go and represent your country at that point in time. But they're government employees. And because you guys are paying for it, the list has to be made public. So it's very interesting, because I didn't understand why the Heritage Foundation simply didn't just call or go and check the list, because those lists must be made public. They have to tell you who from your country is in the United States representing them. I didn't understand it until I found out that they stopped making the lists public in 2021 in the United States. And in the United Kingdom, they only publicize the top level diplomats, the ambassador, the counselor, the first or second secretary, and the consular section. They don't do the list of everything, which is really incredible. However, I did call because when I saw that the list had only been published up to 2021, I thought, well, wait a minute, why can't, this has to be a public thing, because you don't need to know the address. They don't give you the addresses. They only give you the names of the person credited as diplomats in the United States, and that's it. You don't get the address where they actually live for security reasons. So I phoned them, and they said to me that to go and check their website. So I told them I just came from checking the website, the Department of State website, and it says that the list is only published up to 2021, from 2017 to 2021, and nothing more. So this is why I'm calling you. And I asked them point blank if Prince Henry Albert Charles David was an accredited diplomat, and the response that I got was that they were not at the liberty of discussing that, for me to contact the Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the United Kingdom for them to provide that information. When I told them that that list by law must be made public, they simply said that there's nothing more that they can tell me about. So here, guys, you're watching. This is the diplomatic list up till 2021, the last one. This is the United Kingdom's, all of the registers. I mean, I will leave the link here at the bottom of the video, because you can check up until 2021 the list of all the embassies, everybody, all the accredited diplomats in the United States, from every country in the world that they have diplomatic relationships with. They have the list and complete names of all accredited diplomats in the United States. As you can see, up till 2021, Harry wasn't there. He wasn't there. Now, the way that it works is that every diplomat, they come for a minimum of 2 years. So, for example, in 2020, they had that. In 2021, and then what you do is you can't just come and be a diplomat for like 3 days. That doesn't work unless you're on a mission, like when when Princess Catherine and William came to Boston, right? So that's a different thing, because they're coming from quick representation. So they're not accredited diplomats. We know that Harry's been living in the United States now since 2020, late 2020, mid 2020s, when they fled Canada. They had until 2021 to return to the United Kingdom. So they had a year of grace, a grace period for them to return. So, March 2021. From March 20th, 2020 to March 2021. So that they had their chance to return. So I am wondering, why the secrecy? Why the secrecy? Because the United Kingdom, and this is where I'm going to come and talk to you guys about, because if Harry is there representing the United Kingdom, then he is there at your expense, at the United Kingdom's expense. And you are entitled to know in which capacity he is representing you in the United States. Now, there is there's a consular office in Los Angeles, the very same office that was involved on having Doria, sending sending Doria, or bringing to Doria's door Meghan Markle's invitation to her wedding to Doria. The invite to Meghan Markle's wedding and Harry was brought by the consul person in Los Angeles, from the British consulate in Los Angeles. They took the time to take the invite to Doria's door, but not to Mr. Markle's, right? So, and it's not Harry's address. So I phoned them as well, and I asked them if Harry was part of the consular section or the consulate in Los Angeles, to which they said, and this should be a very straight yes or no question, because again, diplomats are funded by the tax that you guys pay. Okay? And this is what they told me. It should be a yes or no question. No, he's not. Yes, he is. They said that he doesn't have diplomatic license plates. And I said, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you if it's an accredited diplomat or a part of the consulate in Los Angeles or at all, because I phoned the British Embassy in Washington and I asked them if Prince Henry Charles Albert David, because the Department of State of the United States refused to give me a straight up answer. And I phoned the Home Office Department and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the UK, and they also refused to give me an answer, which should be a yes or no, because you guys are paying for it. I am Canadian. I want to know in what capacity Prince Harry is representing our head of state, because Charles is the head of state of Canada. To this day, up until yesterday, I had not received an answer, straightforward answer. I can't get access to the list, which should be public in the United States. And you can see the list here in the United Kingdom, because you can go and access the British embassies all over the United Kingdom, and it'll guide you to a page, and it should have the names of everybody. As you can see, as you saw from the list published in the United States up until 2021, the list is pretty extensive, and it contains the names of every person, every diplomat accredited, even the lowest ranking one. So what the hell is going on here? So, and the thing is that if Harry got an A1 visa, that is a violation, because now he's residing in the United States. He's officially residing in the United States. He has a claim that the United States is his country. Now, another trick with the A1 visa is that you cannot work in the country in the United States. If he is on an A1 visa, he is unable to work, which would mean that him working for writing Spare and getting all the royalties on Netflix, and the Me You Can't See, and that Paula thing, he shouldn't be able to work, because the A1 visa is a representation visa. So they're representing another country. So he shouldn't be working. So is this why they're denying everything? And also with Meghan, because anti-lawyers said that Meghan Markle is trying to claim that she is there on an A1 visa because her husband is there on an A1 visa, and that she's trying not to pay taxes as an American citizen. So is it because if Harry is there on an A1 visa, then his family is entitled to be there on an A1 visa? But then again, Meghan Markle is not allowed to have an A1 visa because she's a citizen of the country in the United States, and you're not allowed to have that. Now, as you can see here, this is the the Diplomat Security Service. And it's so funny because they have Prince William and Princess Catherine's visit to Boston. They're boasting about it, like, we guard these people. They didn't put any other heads of states or anything like that. They posted Princess Catherine and Prince William, because these people are in charge. And again, if I have knowledge of something, is this, because I used to be in charge of arranging all of that. One of the many things I was in charge with was that. And when I was a diplomat, people, I was on the receiving end and on the giving end as well. So this is a department that's everywhere, and it applies nationwide. So that means that if Harry's there on an A1 visa, he is getting full security from the Diplomatic Security Service, which is an elite unit inside of the police station or FBI, whatever you want to call it. And I know how they do it in the United States. Because disclaimer, I've never dealt with that in the United States, only Europe and Latin America. Okay. Yeah. So, but I assume it's the same because it's pretty standard everywhere. Okay, so that would mean that if Harry and Meghan are there, if Harry's on an A1 visa and Meghan is there as his wife and not as a U.S. citizen, although she is a U.S. citizen, she can't deny that, so she wouldn't be entitled to an A1 visa. So it's very interesting why? And the judge has gone silent now. The judge has gone silent in regard. I mean, he already has the the documents. How long does it take to go over it? And the Heritage Foundation has gone very quiet. So I urge the Heritage Foundation to pick this back up, because something is very fishy. Because there's only two ways that Harry could get an A1 visa. One, before he went to the United States, and two, that afterwards, after the 2021 grace period that the Queen gave him, he was granted one. But then again, that would mean that he's violating the terms of that visa, because he's not allowed to work in the United States, because he's there in a representational capacity. And this is why Meghan is now fighting not to pay any taxes. But why isn't the Heritage Fund? Why is everything gone quiet? Why has everybody gone quiet? Where is the visa? How long does it take for this judge to read an application? And there is something very fishy, because everybody's denying us access. Those diplomatic, and please, so anybody in the United States, please go and nag the Department of State and ask them to verify to you in writing whether Henry Charles Albert David is an accredited diplomat or government representative. And the reason why they have to say yes or no to you is because that these people are public servants. They're paid for by the taxpayers. They are tax funded. So you, as the people, have a right to know who's representing you where. You saw that the list had been made public up until 2021. Why suddenly are there not? And why is the Home Office in the United Kingdom, the Department of State in the United States, the British Embassy in the United States, and the British Consulate in Los Angeles not giving a straight answer? That's pretty fishy. At what point are we going to be gaslit like this? At what point? And I do believe that all of this is a distraction from everything, like Meghan Markle and this and that and Harry with the lawsuits, because they don't want us to look at the deeper things. But please do go and do that and let me know what you think. And as usual, thanks for always coming to the channel. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, beautiful.